We're live, we're live, we're live. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. It's time for another recap of what went down on this season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Now, of course, very beginning, right at the top of the show, as always, thank you guys so much for being here. I absolutely love getting to talk about the show live with you. It just feels so like personal, like we're really chatting as girlfriends and guy friends and anybody else that is here as well. It's Friday. Thank God for that. Hi, Scamber. I see you here. Thank you so much. Ramster's here as well as Curtis and Jody. I cannot wait to jump into this recap. This season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is shaping up to be a good one. I think that Garcelle was a great addition. At first, I was a little bit skeptical that maybe she might be a little bit too chill and like mellow to bring it to this show, to this franchise, but she has been doing a great job so far. Sutton is another great addition as well. So it looks like people are starting to roll up in here, which is great. I'm about to start this recap. I just want to know how you guys are doing. Guys, how are you doing with your quarantine? Are you up to anything? Any new hobbies? It's been like over a month now at this point, so I'm wondering if you guys are doing well in your new hobby situation. Summer Breeze says that she missed the episode last night because she had to work. Well, welcome, being here with us. We get to talk about it together. So sorry for that, but thank you for being an essential worker as well. This is absolutely amazing. I don't know if you guys know this or not. Like, my Housewives friends are kind of like newer to my channel, but like my hobby is doing nails. Like, I do shellac nails, like extended nails, like anything. And so that's what I got up to today in the middle of like this meeting that was just not the business. So I decided to just do my nails. I was like, oh my God, pick a color, pick a color. I'm so freaking excited. Hi from Australia. Yay. April's here. Robyn's here. Jacqueline's here again. And RJ's here as well. Okay, guys, the gang's all here. And Laura's here as well. Let's jump into what happened. So Dorit and PK, they are finally being open about their financial situation yet again, but they're not being truthful about it, you guys. That is the issue. And I'm going to poke some holes in what it is that they had to say. So they moved into a gorgeous new $6 million mansion and immediately get to work claiming that they're not broke. So a producer asked Dorit, like, why the house is only in her name and not both her and PK's name if, everything is kind of like above board here, because that is kind of a strange thing to do. And then Dorit got extremely defensive with her answer. So let's take a look and hear what it was she had to say to that.
I know it doesn't fit into the narrative that the press are trying to tell, that we have no money, but it's public record. Buyer, Dorit Kemsley.
Why is the house in your name and not your and PK's name together?
Well, what difference does that make? I mean, is your house in both yours and your wife's name? You see.
How sketchy was that from Dorit? It was like, really, girl? You could have just said, like, maybe for this reason, that reason, he's rebuilding his credit or whatever. But she just shot it back and asked the questioner a question in response, which is, in my opinion, always the sign of a guilty person. And so something that was interesting that I wish the producer speaking to her would have asked was why the house was not only just in Dorit's name, but also in the name of someone else as well. Like this was like quite a lot of information came out about the home when they initially purchased it. So remember, the home they were in their first couple of seasons, they acted as though like they bought it, blah, blah, blah. And it turned out that they were renting it from like a business partner and friend of theirs. And that same person, let me look up his name. I had written it down. Sam Nazarian is listed as a co-owner of this current home as well. So I think that this shows yet again that, something in the buttermilk is not clean with these two people as per usual. And so they're only telling half truths about what is going on here. Yes, they did end up buying this home like in a certain respect, but at the same time, they don't own it the way that they want you to believe that they actually do own it. So that is something that has always rubbed me the wrong way about Dorit and PK. I really think that she's going to have a downfall, kind of like Teresa's, you guys. Remember, Joe, according to Teresa anyway, Joe always kind of kept her out of the loop about the financial stuff, which is what PK is trying to do with Dorit here, right? He's like, I don't want you to like read the articles coming out online about my financial situation. He's doing it under the guise of being like, oh, it's so embarrassing. It's all lies, blah, blah, blah. But I I implore Dorit to keep an eye out on all of these things because it is going to come back to bite her in the ass one day the same way it did to Teresa. Because right now, all the money is clearly being funneled to Dorit's bank account in order for her to be able to put her name, as an owner of that house. Like Dorit is a stay-at-home wife. Like she doesn't have the money to qualify for a mortgage on a $6 million house, which means that whatever shady stuff that PK is allegedly doing, the money is ending up in her account and she will be called into court one day about that if, what they're doing is below board. Ramster says, sometimes reaction answers all the questions that you might have. Yeah, absolutely. Like just the way people answer questions is all you need to know. Their body language and everything. Tootsie says, truth will spill out eventually. That is always true. What is it that they say? That the cream always rises to the top of the cup. Jacqueline says, don't sleep on that. Presumably about like all the background information about who the third silent owner of their home is. And now, PK tells a story about how he built his business or off real estate and stuff to like $2 billion. And then it all crashed when credit cards kind of flipped upside down or whatever, which to me was quite sketchy. Like he kept having a lot of really weird answers for where his money had been coming from over these years. Like the editing really tried to point that out to us. Then he claimed that by the time he met Dorit, he was practically broke, which to me, I was like, really? I don't know if I believe that. Dorit doesn't strike me as the type to be interested in PK if she thought he was a broke man. And if he was broke, then he was probably doing a really good job of at least like using credit to play as if he wasn't. And that could give them the lifestyle that they both seem to be interested in more than like ethics or anything like that. Hi, Chayo. Hi, Keen. It's nice to see you guys here again. Keen says it's kind of like Jeff Lowe, which is true. Like a lot of these people who pose around as rich are like just living on like borrowed and or stolen money. I'm not saying that that's what PK and Dorit are necessarily doing, but there is something quite sketchy about their financial situation. Why do the housewives live well above their means? Your guess is as good as mine. Like, yeah, especially on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills in New Jersey, they all seem to be like scam artists and grifters. Brittany says PK is more calculated than Lisa Vanderpump. I'm seeing that as well here. And it's all about how they appear, not how they actually are, which is very true, Robyn. Like, it's got to be a very stressful way to live, you guys. And speaking of, let's talk about how, let's talk about their body language in yet another kind of scene where the producer asked them both, this time as a couple, about their financial situation. Just pay attention to Dorit's wide-eyed stare, their obsessive gum chewing, and just like really weird non-answers.
Very little better off.
Just embarrassed that you have to read it, that's all.
There's the few things that we all like about the stuff about the house, the stuff about bankruptcy, the stuff about frozen accounts, the stuff about these are con artists. How do you answer that? Because it follows you. It doesn't go away. You ignore it, it doesn't make it go away.
I answer that by knowing who I am. I can't shut noise down, and I certainly can't spend my life engaged in that negative energy.
How sketchy was that, you guys? Just the way like they were even like staring at each other and obsessively chewing and stuff. I was like, what the heck is going on in this scene? You know what they reminded me? Let me know if you guys have seen this movie, but there was this movie that I loved. I watched it like 10 times growing up. Matilda, the young girl with the telekinesis power. She could bend the spoons and stuff. Like her parents, they were like scam artists galore with this like used car dealerships where they would like sell cars that they were not supposed to. And the FBI was following them throughout the whole entire movie. Even like the way Dorit was dressed with her tacky ass outfit, like that is what they reminded me of, you guys. Like they just looked a hot ass, sketchy ass mess, sweating bullets, knowing that like, the audience would be able to see right through them by the end of, the episode. And if not the episode, then the season. Sarah says they definitely had media training for this scene. Like everything about it was weird, girl. This is like a distraction to avoid the question. What kind of non-answer was that? He was calling it negativity. No, it's not negativity, PK. It is called a lawsuit, that you were embroiled in because you allegedly stole money from your friend and refused to pay it back. Like, I just don't get it. Oh, so Melissa, she gets it. She's like, I love Matilda. Is that nicotine gum? I have no clue whatsoever, Ramster. She said she's the main earner in the house. She's trying to keep the bag by staying on the show. You know what? You're right. They do. That's my bad. They do make quite a good income from the Real Housewives, but Dorit hasn't been on that long. So I do wonder what, just what kind of tax bracket she's at, but I'm positive she's not making enough from the show to be able to afford a $6.7 million mansion. That much I know for sure. Then she Instagrammed after that scene, we were meant to be together. How freaking corny. I hope it doesn't sound like I hate to read. I actually do like her, but like I don't believe anything about her and PK whatsoever. Now, in the following scene of the episode, Garcelle shows us this new house that she bought and she's starting to work on it. And then she opens up about how sad it is that she doesn't get to share this dream home with anybody. She was married about 9 years ago, for 9 years, to a man who had been cheating on her for about 5 years out of the marriage. I don't know if you guys remember it, but I remember it clear as day when the email leaked. Garcelle emailed his entire office to blow the lid off on his affair. And she kind of talks about it a little bit here as well. So let's get into what exactly it was that Garcelle had to say about her broken marriage.
And I see a text that said, I love you. And I go, hey, what's this? And his face changed. And he said, I've been having an affair. And I said, how long? And he said, 5 years. I want to cry because I feel like you seeing it has made it real because I've been coming on my own, I'm a hothead. So that night I wrote an email to friends and colleagues at Mike's work. And the subject was, what does Tiger Woods, Jesse James, and Mike Nylon have in common? And that email got leaked to the press.
The journey that you've been from there to now, can you say that?
My heart really did break for Garcelle, like hearing that all over again. Like it just feels like a million years ago, but I know it probably still does hurt just as much as, it did the first time that she found out about the whole entire affair. She seems like just such a wonderful person. So it's quite sad to see that that's what he would have done to her. Like I feel like it takes a true sociopath to, first of all, pull that off. And second of all, even want to do something like that to someone who has done nothing to them, but, love them. It's devastating. By the way, thank you so much for your well wishes, Teresa. It's so nice to see you here. How's he going to cheat on that beautiful lady? It's so true. Ladies, you give a man who's nowhere near as cute as you a chance. And this is what happens. They mess around and start thinking that they're cute. And then, they cheat on you. It's just, you see it time and time again where like men who were, you're like, how did you even land this woman in the first place? And this is what you do to her? Jesus Christ. It's very sad to see. It was a very sad moment from Melissa. She says, you go, Garcelle, for starting over and getting your dream solo. It's inspirational always to see women kind of like pick themselves up after those sorts of situations and continue to prosper. Now, in the next scene, Lisa Rinna's daughter had a scholarship to attend university. And apparently on the side, she was doing some sort of modeling, you guys. And it didn't pan out because apparently she started having these kinds of anxiety attacks and stuff like that. And so she stopped attending her classes. And then eventually she just fell too far behind to even be able to kind of continue on with her grade or something like that. And then her counselor at school told Lisa Rinna that like she might as well kind of like take the year off a little bit and kind of regroup. And I'm really curious about you guys' opinions of all of that, because it's a very tricky situation because it does involve, her daughter having issues with anxiety, presumably depression, and she had an eating disorder for quite a while as well. So I'm very curious to hear what you thought about it all. Teresa says she's an amazing mom. Yeah, Lisa Rinna seems really dedicated to her daughters. But I don't know, like, here's what I have to say, you guys. First of all, you know what I'll do? Why don't I play the scene for you guys in case any of you guys didn't get to see it? And then after that, we'll talk about her thoughts on her daughter dropping out of school. I want to know what you guys think in the comments there about Amelia having to drop out of school. Remember, she was modeling part-time, not really like a full-time gig. Lisa had put her up in a very nice, luxurious apartment. And let me press play.
And for certain personality types.
I have Amelia's post. Can you read it?
Yeah.
This past month has been one of the craziest months of my life. I've learned that it is okay not to be okay. I've learned that I struggle with major anxiety. I learned that I have a fear of growing up. But most importantly, I've learned that life is too short to waste it on something that doesn't make you happy.
Believe me, I feel for her because I remember feeling that way when I moved to California.
I think there's a part of me too, and I got to be honest about it. You know, you don't want your kids to look like they've failed at something, you know, because then you feel like, well, then I failed because I wasn't a good enough parent.
See, you know, first of all, I have to say that Lisa's vulnerability about how she feels, you know, about her daughter kind of dropping out of school for now reflects against her as a parent was a very real thing. And I very much appreciated what she had to say there. But again, going back to her daughter, even having to drop out of school, to me is just so amazing. You know what I mean? I'm like, there are people with the same problem she has. Like, you know, anxiety is not like, you know, uncommon at all. Like so many people struggle with it, depression as well. But like there's people who suffer from all these things, even eating disorders. And then they're still working jobs, 1 or 2 jobs while they're studying at school. They're worrying about money. They're in abusive households, or, you know, maybe they just have like an absentee parent or 2 absentee parents. Maybe they're helping out with their siblings and stuff like that. And they're still managing to soldier on. And then here are these girls where they're living like in the lap of luxury. Their one job is to live in a nice apartment and go to school. You literally don't have to do anything else because you're so rich, and you can't even do that. I don't know. Maybe I'm being harsh. You guys let me know. Like, it's always so disappointing to me. I'm like, really, you guys? Really? Like, it's just something about when people have, it's even on the other show that I cover Teen Mom OG. And these people, I swear to God, like the weather, it could be like a thunderstorm outside and all of a sudden they wouldn't be able to like function because it's just too much for them. Like, I don't get it. Carrie says, I think all these coddle kids are not prepared for real life. I think it cripples them. They get everything they want and never hear no. The real world is not like that. I agree. Like, I hate to sound harsh, but I agree. It's like, on what planet can you just opt out of doing pretty much anything? And like, when is she going to learn to be able to balance her anxiety or whatever it is she's dealing with school if she's just pulled out? Like, if the second that she has an issue with that, I don't know. It just rubbed me the wrong way. Jacqueline says if she's not interested in studying or isn't going to apply herself, it's better to put it on hold. I absolutely agree with that. But like, you know, Lisa is trying so hard to push her daughters into being models the way the Hadid girls have been, but they're just not. I sound like such a douche, you guys. I hate it. But like, I don't see it for these girls. Let me say that. I'm not going to say they're never going to make it like definitively, but I personally just don't see it for these girls. So it's sad that like the pressure and the attention that Lisa has put onto them for this kind of like a hoop dream has been so detrimental to their lives, because Lisa did say that one of the most like important factors for her in her inability to handle being in school was the fact that she was kind of like well known. And the only reason that she's well known is because Lisa is trying to make her and her sister into like these sorts of supermodels, knowing that they battle from like eating disorders as well. So, you know, at what point, I know Lisa doesn't like for people to kind of infer how she might have contributed to these problems as their mother. But like, I feel like at what point are you going to be like, you know what, I'm going to stop trying to push you guys into the spotlight, because it's very clear that you guys are not, you're not equipped for it. Teresa says it's wrong to air her daughter's problems on the show. Like, she really did put it all out there, you guys. She really, really did. What else are you guys saying out here? Probably the lack of attention. These girls have everything, but yet issues. You know, it's just so funny. Like, the richer you get, the more sensitive and like, I don't know, like the weaker you get. I don't want to say that she's weak per se, but like, it's just so fascinating that they're not, I don't know. It's like an upside down world. They diagnose themselves. I don't know. That makes sense. Lisa's pushes them. I believe they're not like their mom, period. She's too pushy. Yeah, I think that's the thing too. They seem like, you know, genuinely kind of shy girls who would be fine just like staying at home and like being low key and just maybe, I don't know, being influencers or something like that. But Lisa seems to be the one really dead set on them actually like being huge. She said it herself on the show that she wanted to see them be like the Hadid girls, but she had ruined her relationship with Yolanda, so that was never able to like, help her out in that respect. Sora says, it's really disappointing to see rich people struggle with basic life. I had to go to school and work and deal with anxiety and financial issues and still was able to get through it. Exactly, Sora. I'm like, what is it like in rich DNA that just makes people unable to juggle things in life? Like the second one thing goes wrong, everything kind of caves down on them. And it's just, I don't get it. Robyn says, my niece is the same position for the same reason and opting out of continuing school. My concern is also her coping skills for the rest of her life. Right? Like there's so many, for example, so many of us right now who in this stay-at-home orders, not, have to worry about losing your job, and you're homeschooling your children. Like you're probably dealing with so much stress and anxiety yourself, but you're still juggling all of these things because you have no choice. But maybe it's the fact that they don't have any other choice that makes these people the way that they currently are. Jay says, honestly, if any one of these Beverly Housewives has the potential to be a momager, it's Kyle, Portia, and Sophia are comedy gold. They've got a very, very big fan page out there. What is it that Jacqueline says? Wealth can cripple you. I absolutely do believe that, Jacqueline. It's proving time and time again to be the case. And it's quite disappointing because, you just want to see people win at life and stuff like that. But like the fact that some people just can't, and it's wealth seems to be the common denominator, it makes me quite sad. Yes, I'll be doing more lives, Karma. Thank you so much for being here. Carrie says, yeah, they have a safety net. They'll be taken care of no matter what they do. And that does absolutely affect everything it is that you kind of go for. And now, okay, in the next season, we get Kyle. I can't stand Kyle, you guys, by the way. I'm just not a fan of her at all. Her and Sutton go out for a simple dinner dressed as disco balls. And Sutton reveals that she was married for 17 years, which very greatly surprised me. Like I thought it was like one of those flyby marriages, like 5 or less years, but 17 years is a long time. She put in her time. She earned her coins, y'all. And then she hints, like starting now and throughout the rest of the episode as well, that her husband was quite controlling. And, as much as I like Sutton and find her endearing and a breath of fresh air and everything, I also am starting to find her very new money and gauche and pretentious. So Kyle is trying to figure out what to do with her clothing line and blah, blah, blah. And Sutton just keeps mentioning the word yacht. Like she's never been on a yacht except for one time. And she wants everyone to know about it. Listen to what I mean.
Back. Like, I don't know what leisure wear is. I really am struggling with the whole. I came up with the best idea the other day. I will take it for this yacht wear. Yacht wear. I don't want to scare people off who don't have a yacht. Okay, I'll think of something better.
She just kept doing stuff like that, like, casually like humble bragging about like the fact that she's been on a yacht or this or that. Every time someone would compliment her on an outfit, oh, thanks, it's couture. Thank you very much. Like she was just so damn much. Like, okay, girl, we get it. You have money. Like, what do you want now? Like, move on. Like, they really tried to like welcome her, but I think she's starting to turn them off with her like obsession with letting them know just how rich she is. Teresa, yeah, she absolutely is pretentious. Carrie's saying, I feel like Sutton was put on the wrong franchise. She would fit in the New York cast so much better. And you know what? That is a point I'm going to make a little bit later on when the mayor came to her store opening. Like she was a hot ass mess. Next in the next scene, you guys, Garcelle and Erica. What do you guys think of that friendship, by the way? I really do like them together. I've always felt like Erica needed a friend that you could genuinely see her being a friend with in real life. And I think that Garcelle is that girl for her. Like they seem to have like hit it off like immediately. And I love that. So the two of them go out for dinner, you guys. And Garcelle drops a cheeky little question to Erica when Erica lets her know that her husband is 80 years old. And I want to know how you guys, first of all, felt about Garcelle's question. And second of all, felt about the way Erica handled it, both in Garcelle's face and in her one-on-one talking head.
He's good. He is 80.
Said it. No sex.
she's okay. You know, people always ask that. They're always like, you know, what's going on? Is it 20-year-old all day long? No.
No, but do you want that?
Not really. So,
Someone's gotta go.
right, we got bills to pay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've dealt with this forever. The younger woman that marries the wealthier older man. I mean, I'm tired of having to justify my 20-year marriage. Go get a 20-year marriage, then come and talk to me. Are you going to go to something to her?
Yeah.
So you guys, what did you think about Garcelle's question, first of all? Second of all, Erica's reaction to Garcelle one-on-one. And third of all, her reaction to Garcelle in her talking head to us. By the way, yes, Summer, I do watch Potomac. I was so excited to start recapping it in a couple weeks, but they pushed it back. Oh, so upset about that. Brittany says Erica didn't know how to react. Her answer was good enough. Love Erica and Garcelle together as friends. I love that they're talking straight up to each other because that's what real friends do. Yes, absolutely. That's a question I would ask my friend, you know, so it's nice to see that Garcelle felt comfortable enough asking that. She's like, chew your food, girl. 80 years, I was rolling. 80, that would be my first question too. Honestly, I feel like Erica at this point is probably too scared to be banging that man for fear of like, I don't know, giving him a heart attack or something. I don't know how she does it, girls. Yeah, she was so caught off guard. In my personal opinion, I felt like Erica's response was fair. Like she was nice to Garcelle's face and she told her, like she answered her question for her. Like it's not what it might have been like 60 years ago for him, but it works for me. And then I felt like what she said in her one-on-one confession with the producer was also fair as well, because she was like, you know what, like I've been answering to this for like 20 years. I've been married to this man for like 20 years, you guys. So like, why don't you guys work on getting a 20-year marriage and then come talk to me? And I was like, you know what? Like, I feel like these girls are so close to producers at this point because, you know, they've been working with them for so many years that like, they feel like they're ranting. And so like, I love being able to feel like I am sitting in the midst of a one-on-one rant between like, you know, people who like, you know, genuinely like trust each other's opinions and stuff like that. So I felt like what she did was absolutely fair. Some people on Twitter were like, oh, like Erica's so sensitive and blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, you know, when you've been married for like as long as she has, and the only reason people don't really respect your marriage is because of the age difference, it gets kind of old after a while, you know, like it really does. So like, I totally sympathize with her position on that whole entire thing. Now, what happened after that? Denise needed surgery for a rare hernia that she was suffering from. Maybe you guys can let me know. I don't know if she got the hernia because she's always carrying around her special needs daughter who's maybe like 12 years old and a little bit heavier. Not heavier as in like she's overweight, but like, you know, carrying a 12-year-old is kind of heavy. Or if she already had one and that is exacerbated it. I don't remember, but you guys definitely feel free to let me know. So yeah, she needs to have a surgery for her hernia. And guys, another question. What does Denise's husband do for work? Because to me, he just screams like unemployed. You know what I mean? Like just everything about him to me kind of just screams like grifter, fake job or whatever. Like when she's lying on the bed and he gives her some headphones to listen to whatever on like alpha frequency or something like that, I was like, huh, that is something an unemployed man would say. So you guys let me know, what is the deal there? Like, does he have a real job or no? Anyway, back to Erica. Her and Tom celebrate her landing the role of Roxy Hart on Broadway. And you can really see why she married someone so old enough to be her dad when she cries about how she never had emotional support growing up. Like, like it's very endearing in a certain sense, but in another sense, it actually also is quite a bit sad that this like 80-year-old husband of hers is the only way that she's been able to feel emotional support. And you can really see that he's kind of like, I don't know, like a replacement dad for what it was that she kind of had growing up. And it makes me uncomfortable. It really does. The fact that they've got a 33-year age difference between the two of them, because she's very clearly rooted in hurt. And he's very clearly rooted in money. So I don't know that this relationship can ever be equal. Look at her crying over here, you guys. Watching people with Botox cry is quite painful, eh?
Thanks.
I really am.
That's all I ever wanted. Thank you. Thanks, babe.
It's too cool.
It's
See, it was a very sweet moment between the two of them, but just like listening to her describe the fact that like this, you know, is the only way she's ever felt loved and stuff, you're kind of like, okay, now it all kind of makes sense here. And it makes me really, really sad for her. Curtis and Jody were like, he said he picked up devices from his office. What's his work, right? Yeah, I was like, your office. Okay. Is that like the back of your pickup truck? Brittany says, this scene with Tom and Erica, I thought it was sweet. You do see Erica genuinely loves him and is so thankful he came in and helped her and her son. Yeah, I absolutely do agree that she loves him. But I also agree that it's in like a fatherly way, which creeps me out. Her husband does that natural. Denise, alternative medicine. Okay. So that, you know, yeah. Confirms my suspicions, let's just say. So he said in the beginning that he owns a holistic healing clinic, does energy work. The headphones were playing some of the healing frequencies. All right, my people. I didn't know that was a thing. Yeah. It looks, yeah, Erica, when she cried every time this episode, because she cried earlier at lunch with Garcelle, like her face has been like so pumped right now that watching her cry is a little bit of an uncomfortable experience, but it's the price we pay to watch The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But, you know, all kidding aside, I really like Erica, and I'm very happy that she is starting to open up again because, you know, she's one of the more interesting housewives. You know what I mean? Like, how many housewives are out there doing what she's doing with their fame? Like, she has been saying yes to so many opportunities. Like, she was touring in Greece for a little bit. She took us along with her. She released a book. Like, it's so cool being able to be a part of someone like from beginning to like end and seeing what it is that they do with their fame. So like, I really, really, really love this for her. Now, you guys, before we even get into Sutton's party, can we get into Teddy's text to the group about how she was inviting them to see like that she has a real job or whatever, and like she was like, oh, by the way, I don't care if you come or not. Like, what was the actual deal with that? Like, I wrote that down somewhere, but I'm just remembering that I skipped right past it. What was the deal with Teddy when she was inviting people? She's like, well, I want to invite you guys, but I don't care if you come or not. And I don't want you to feel like you're going to be offending me. Again, don't care if you come or not. Like, I feel like that's a very discouraging invitation to send. Like, I know if someone sent me an invitation like that, I'd be kind of confused about like, who put you up to inviting me, man? Like, you really don't seem to want to have me there. Like, I don't really get what the deal is. You know, it was weird. It was very weird on Teddy's part. I think that she's got like, I think she's very socially inept or like touched or something like that, like when it comes to social interactions, because she's always finding herself in these very weird social tiffs. And so I wonder what happened there that caused her to miss like the social link with people. So anyway, Sutton, she hosts the launch party for her new store, and we all learned that she has a boyfriend for the first time. I had no clue. She never mentioned him. And then, you know, all of a sudden at her party, out pops out this guy who, you know, is her boyfriend. And then again, she talks about how her ex didn't take her dream of opening the store seriously. And so she's like kind of trying to prove it to him in a sense that she could have done it. Like, she's like, I don't really even need money. Like, maybe this won't make me money. That's fine. But I just wanted to like be able to open it. And like, you know, it really made my heart break for her that was the way that she was being treated all of these years, you know, like that the guy had all this money to help her reach her dreams and everything. And then he always kind of stifled her growth. I don't know. It was hard to hear. By the way, the girls looked really beautiful at her party. I especially loved Dorit's outfit. It was one of her best looks of the entire season, or her entire like stint on The Real Housewives. And as soon as she hits the red carpet, an interviewer asked her like about her finances. She plays nice with the interviewer, but she was not very nice to us in the confessional about it. Now, the mayor comes to Sutton's launch party, and Sutton acted like she had no home training whatsoever. It was really, honestly, it was embarrassing watching her behave so poorly towards the mayor, you guys, you know, who did her a huge favor by even dropping by, like showing up to her event to help her promote her new store. Like, just the way she acted was not cute or endearing to me in any sense of the word. But I'm going to replay it for you guys, and you can let me know how you felt about her behavior in particular.
I'm hearing a rumor that the mayor of West Hollywood is here. Oh, you were so excited. I was like,
Who's the mayor? Tell me his name.
who's the mayor? I don't live in West Hollywood. I live in Bel Air. It's the mayor. It's not Barack.
Who am I calling? Sutton's job. Good evening, everyone. Sutton.
That's me.
And all of you beauties.
Are you the mayor?
I am John D'Amico. I'm the mayor of West Hollywood.
You're the hottest mayor ever. How many mayors does she know?
So, I want to come over here. First of all, we want to have a toast.
Well, we're going to talk about permits later.
Yeah, all of it. Let me congratulate you on opening your new store in West Hollywood. Our city loves having fun.
And also, like, parking tickets here is very strict.
Yeah, parking is a thing.
Yeah, why? Why are y'all so strict?
That's really
Parking tickets here really strict. Sutton, can you just thank the man? Just say thank you.
It's way
And
over
also,
the
you have
top.
to put your tires in a certain
Yeah,
way.
it
What
doesn't
is
make
that?
sense.
I got 2 tickets for that.
I mean, if you got the mayor right in front of you, you might as well address what's really going on.
Cheers.
Thank
to
you.
traveling glow.
Cheers!
What was that, you guys? Like, she was acting like she had literally no home training whatsoever. It was so incredibly rude. Like, this guy came to your event to help you promote it and, like, you know, to help elevate it kind of like in the eyes of the city. And this is the way you treat him. Like, nothing about it was cute. Like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, like they adore this behavior in Ramona from Housewives of New York and like Sonia too, or in Dorinda. But I'm like, I just don't like this kind of behavior. To me, it's just so tacky. It's so lowbrow and like embarrassing. Like, I just, the whole thing really rubbed me the wrong way. Curtis and Jody, I felt embarrassed for her. Wow, disrespectful if you ask me. Oh Lord. Jacqueline's like, oh, maybe we can blame it on the alcohol. You know what? Maybe we actually even can, but just the way she behaved was so weird and wacky. And you know, I wish that I hope, you know, for her sake, that she has since apologized to the mayor. I had secondhand embarrassment watching this. She came off very rich, entitled, and basically just rude. Yes, I absolutely feel the exact same way that you did. Like, she did herself, her store, like her friends, even like a disservice behaving that way. Now, the final exchange of the episode was all of the girls talking about Teddy's accountability thing. And again, I'm always confused about Teddy's storyline because they're always so dumb. You know what I mean? Like, her first one that I remember was when Dorit showed up late to lunch with her and she had the hugest fit about it. Then the next one was like champagne glass or wine glass. Then the next one was Doggate. And now here it is, Textgate. Like, do you want to come to my thing or do you not want to? Like, I just don't get Teddy, like, and her storylines. I hate honestly, I have to be honest. I hate her storylines. Like, they're just so like forced and contrived and weird. Like, I wish that we can get someone a little bit more kind of like interesting on this show. So I'm going to play it for you guys and we can talk about it. Honestly, I didn't even write notes for it. So we're going to be freestyling this little tidbit about Teddy's whatever it is that she does for a living situation. Here, let's check it out.
I'm coming after lunch and I have to leave that evening. Okay. Okay, what, Teddy? Okay, it's fine, no problem. Okay, you're pissed? Like, what do you really mean? Here's the thing, guys. Truthfully, I really don't care if y'all come or don't come. Really? Wait a minute. I'm coming. And if you don't give a then why am I coming? Because you would. It's something you want to go to. Anybody that actually wants to come because they want to do it, they should come. But anyone that's going to come and be a pain in the ass, I'd really rather be like, oh my don't come.
So, like, what prompted her little outburst was Dorit, like, very kindly, in my opinion, telling her, hey, listen, Teddy, I want to come and support you as your girlfriend, but I just want to let you know ahead of time that I've got some things that I'm doing with my kids, so I'm going to be a little bit late. It was fair enough, but then this is the way that Teddy wound up reacting. Like, I just don't get this girl, and I just don't like this girl at all.
Oh my God.
I won't be a pain in the ass.
I wouldn't be a pain in the ass, but I really don't want to do it.
I don't care.
Garcelle.
She cares.
This is important to me. And I invited you guys because I like you and I just wanted to give you the option. Teddy, I want to go simply to support you. Obviously, no, but see, I'm going to tell you this. She doesn't want to do the experience, just support. It's not a situation where, like, everybody's support is going to, like, lift me up in the moment.
Oh, Teddy, the hole is deep enough already.
Honestly, I can give you my word. You not coming will not upset me. With that said, I actually have a store that I take care of and say goodbye.
You guys, honestly, like the way that Teddy acted at that point, I'm kind of like, you know what? Honestly, girl, I hope no one shows up just the way that you've been acting. And like you're claiming, oh, you're not going to care or whatever. Girl, let nobody show up to that damn thing and watch you cry the same way you cry about, you know, rain falling from the damn sky, girl. Teddy's very awkward. I think maybe she's having an overreaction to what happened with getting her feelings hurt last season when Erica didn't stay with them on her trip. Again, she overreacted again, like at that trip. Erica was having cramps. Let her go home. What's your deal? Like Teddy's always looking for something to cry about. I'm not a Teddy fan either. She's like a wet sponge. Yes. I think she's just very sensitive. She absolutely is. She absolutely is. Oh my God. Cliffhanger. Her announcement, pregnant again, big deal. After her 5th kid already. I thought Teddy, no, this is going to be Teddy's 3rd kid. And she tries so hard. Yeah, I don't know. I really hope that this is Teddy's last season, you guys, because she's just not it. You know, we've already got Garcelle in here. Maybe Sutton and her husband are going to work out the situation with her children. Remember, that's the reason why she's not a full-time diamond holder, is because he didn't want the kids on the show. Maybe they'll work something out, you know, in time for next season, and we won't need Teddy anymore. Not that we even need her now, you guys. Anyway, everybody, that was your full recap of what went down on this episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, I really enjoyed spending my time with you, that's for sure. I also hope that you guys have an awesome weekend ahead. I'm about to go crack open a beer and just lounge. I'm so psyched. It's like the simplest thing ever, but like I'm excited to do it. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care and stay healthy, everybody.